Previously on Defending Onision, Repsion reads a book. And Jacqueline gives a shout out to Onision because she was inspired and stuff. Wow, isn't it cool? The things that Onision can do to people. Alright. And I'm pretty sure lawsuits are expensive, so why would you do that? I don't understand the idea of like dragging people into lawsuits if the misdemeanor is not a big deal. It's all in your head, basically. Oh, you got groomed. But did anything physical happen? Have your safety been violated? You have to talk about these things and not just like the shit that happened on the internet. Because the moment internet police shows up, I gotta go. I gotta scoop-de-doo out of here. And no education for you guys, because education gonna come in terms of force and destruction, basically. So I don't want to be here and talk to anyone and try to help anyone, because a lot of people are just gonna be screaming in pain and agony when police is gonna police the internet. Do you want that to happen? Do you want police forces to be like, oh, there's so many creeps on the internet. Let's fucking hide Onision someone under the rug, or I don't know. Where you supposed to hide in a fucking closet? I don't know, bro. But we're not supposed to just throw him and attach lawsuits to him, one after the other, and hope that he's gonna go to jail to spread his message, basically. You know, to other criminals. Because if he's a honorable man, he'll be able to do that. I'm sorry, guys. This is not some lighthearted thing. You guys need to be educated. So, if you want to write a shitty comment, you gotta watch most of this video. Alright, at least 1 hour out of 2. Then you can write a stupid comment that you will be destroyed by. In case you go against Onision, who is not that bad morally. His latest video, again, I checked out and reviewed over here. Check the comments as well. It's not that bad. I had no problems with it. I don't know if it was emotional for me or not. It felt like it. I guess it was emotional for, I don't know. It was vibey. And compared to these idiots who are criticizing Onision is doing much more and better work on YouTube. Still, by just saying goodbye and just like staying away, because he now has to deal with police on the internet. He now has to deal with that sort of perspective that I just lay down. If police starts attacking you, what the fuck do you do? I can claim anything on you, bro. Everyone has dirt. Are you fucking kidding? If you post lewd pictures on the internet, oh, oops. If you promote reading into lawsuits, oh, oops. And wasting people's time on the internet as influence. Oh, look at all these points. Bruh, you want to read something? Here's some reading. It's not that difficult to read. It's a fucking third grader reads. And you're gonna learn so much more than some random piece of fucking office work, you know. At some point you have to look at all the legal shit as like monkeys typing on a keyboard random words that you don't understand. You must take control over your emotions and understand that what is going on. If you feel okay. You feel okay doing this? Literally, Onision is right now just mentally raping every single person that wants to destroy him, you know. I think he just sits there on the throne, and anyone who tries to get to his castle just gets impaled by their own stupidity. Like, it's so stupid what everyone is doing. So we could just like sit here and review a lot of content. Why? Because I recognized people still, you know, are impressed by Onision. That's how YouTube defines it. Impressions. Ability to click on a video. This is the highest impression rate ever. No other person has been able to generate any higher number than this. This is Hearthstone. Second highest because, well, it went semi-viral as well. It's viral technically on my terms. But Onision doubled that. People are desperate to look up his name and look up what other people are thinking. And that's, again, a very interesting move that Onision made and no one else made. Alright? You're not looking up particular people and their opinions. You clicked on my video. Didn't you? Because of Onision. He gets the credit for it. He gets all the credit. While you're focusing on him as a creep, or whatever the fuck you feel like trashing him with, what kind of label you choose. You know, groomer? You gotta come up with something better than that, bro. Now you have to come up with something better because the credit that he's getting over time of all the people trying to trash him is gonna backfire soon. At some point it's gonna backfire, and it's gonna be more and more pathetic the more people care about this stuff and not actually learn. If you're not learning anything, you're not gonna be able to sustain the backfire that's gonna happen. Even there's gonna be a little bit of a backfire against me because I'm supporting Onision, and it's like, how the fuck did you know that there's gonna be something in the future and stuff? And I see the future constantly. I don't care. It's just a normal thing to me to live in the future, unfortunately. So that's the introduction. We're gonna slow down. I'll encourage you to subscribe and chill, because it's 2 hours normally, unless I decided otherwise. Also, I upload this at the day 4 of my YouTube strike. Why did I got a YouTube strike? Not because I'm a creep or have stupid opinions. That would just get me deleted from the internet. I got a YouTube strike from YouTube bots telling me that I'm not supposed to talk about US elections and Trump being the favored by me personally. You know, just my opinion that Trump is just better at debating. That's it. That's all I did. And explain how voting systems could be improved, because both wannabe presidents have been concerned about that. And I got a strike, and no appeal process is available. So it makes me question whether YouTube is actually a reasonable place or not. But the only thing I can do is just stay away from ridiculous topics like elections, apparently. Apparently we don't have democracy whatsoever, which is, if we can't talk about it, then we don't. If we have to go somewhere else to talk about democracy, as if it's porn of some kind, or even worse than porn. I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. So that's why I got a strike, and it pisses me off. I already had a warning from criticizing masks. I can sort of understand that, but not really. Because, again, YouTube bots are just looking at the titles and labeling you the same fucking way as everyone else is trying to do. And after you get a strike, people will just assume that you're a bad person. You know. Yeah, I could have just not explained any of the details, and everyone just would assume I'm a bad person and I deserve it. And that is a terrible thing that's a terrible mistake that happens all the time. It happens way too often, where the system doesn't work, not the people themselves. The system is flawed, and we have to figure out how to fix it instead of beating each other up as if we deserved to be down in the first place. If you see a homeless person, your first assumption is that they deserve to be homeless. My first assumption is that the system sucks and I don't want to see homeless people. I want to see at least them happy being homeless, or entertained, or trying or working hard to get out of their situation, and not being told, "Oh, get a job" or whatever. That is impossible for a homeless person to do. There has to be real offers of when it comes to Onision, a real offer to just replenish reputation, to come back, into this ecosystem in whichever way we decide. If we're nice to him, he might come back and he might treat us properly, without giving us a big backlash. When I I inject him with my venom and see what happens. Is he gonna turn into a monster? Is he gonna figure out ways to destroy his enemies? I want to see drama, dude. I want to have some fun on the internet as well, as everyone else is trying to have fun. Making videos on Onision to get paid and stuff. I don't get a single penny so far. So you better be careful who you're dealing with. I'm way more powerful because I'm way more greedier because I get nothing. I get nothing though. All right? And I want a lot of things, potentially. But money related, not really. I'm not really money motivated person. And I'm not really like emotional motivated person. I have people I care about. And I do want to like twist the enemy's brain cells. But my idea is like I want to care about principles, most importantly. And again, what I see on the enemy side is that they're goddamn weak no matter how many people there are against Onision. I mean, it's going to be hard to breathe looking at a mob of people. But if they're just all sardines and you just pull out a machine gun and they just all flop, I don't know, man. I don't know. Hopefully machine gun is not expensive to buy. I'm talking about metaphors here. But when it comes to pain, no metaphor can describe pain. It's just pain. You get hit, it's pain. You get emotionally disturbed, it's pain. Maybe there's some fucking hidden agenda of like hidden post-trauma of some kind. But we have to like understand Onision's perspective, right? So him reviewing girls is just something he has been doing, and it's a 50-50. Yes, he's a little bit creepy and he does his own thing in a weird way, not really caring about what trouble or backlash is going to happen. He has a bunch of girlfriends and talks about sex often enough, and just, it's weird. Alright? But that's what edgy people do. They want to make you feel weird. It's not really cringe content. Purposefully. It just happens to be cringe if you have no idea what the fuck is going on. Then it's cringe. But if you have some ideas, then Onision is somewhat entertaining. Alright? And he has subscribers for a reason and reach. And the more Repsion has attacked Onision, the more I wanted to check out, and eventually I just got converted by his, speeches. Him trying to, like, explain why all this drama is just pure pain and not much else. Why he has enough evidence to just kind of bounce back. And he's trying to do that, but of course, as every YouTuber, he doesn't know what to rely on. It's very difficult to rely on other people when you look down upon them. It's like, I have 2 million subscribers and you're a nobody. I can't trust you. You just want clout, whether it's negative or positive. And it's a tough one. It's like, I would totally do an interview. I would totally try and paint him in the best light possible. It's just, it doesn't feel like any YouTuber is reachable whatsoever. That's another thing to consider. Alright, your favorite toy, whichever way you like to play with it, is unavailable right now. So I don't care how much you hate or love that thing, you're not gonna have it. You're not gonna have your way. Maybe we're not supposed to have our way. Maybe it's supposed to be a most difficult challenge of like, if you want it, you have to really pay for it. And you might get more than you asked for. Because, like, being in a YouTube video is a big deal. Like, showing a face, apparently, as you know from Dream Revealing Face, it could be a ridiculously big deal. And, it depends how it's being done. If you're not just a normie, a ghost, a nobody, if you do a good performance, like, I don't know, it could be your time to shine and you can just steal the spotlight from Onision. He could just gift it to you if you were being nice to him. Who knows what is possible, bro? You have to tell the story, your own story, but you better not sit here on the internet and pretend that negativity is gonna do you positive things, give you positive things. Stealing and looting can also happen spiritually, and if you want to harm Onision, I don't think it's. I think I think it's mutual feelings. All right, Onision wants to hurt you, and he's not gonna feel pain whatsoever because too many people make him feel numb of giving others pain. And again, his personality just straight up adapt to exactly that. You should be scared of being negative, just like with Rebecca Black, why I put her on the thumbnail previously. All right. She's going through the same kind of weird phase where she doesn't feel liked or appreciated and being negative on herself. But I feel that she's gonna bounce back, and most importantly, that's potentially how their personalities work. They're just waiting for an opportunity, waiting for someone to actually agree with them, and see where it maxes out. See the final phase basically of everything. So in this case, it would be like a simple bump. Once they detect that something is going on, that people agree with them, they want to see when it's gonna reach the pivot point when they can take advantage of this and make a comeback. But me, one person trying to pull Onision all the way up there, I will try and sustain myself if the story is interesting enough. I don't know how long Onision is going to be interesting to me if he doesn't do anything, but I mean, attacks are still coming in strong, and I have to make a follow-up, the most impressions video follow-up. All right, where it's the most lucrative video to make, and I have to take it seriously. So that's the full introduction. Again, we're gonna take things slow. We're gonna talk about all the topics and concerns, so you get educated on how to truly look at this whole situation. I already laid down a lot of things. You can already start talking about it in the comments, but there's a long run of just putting me in the background, and we'll figure out together what the hell is going on. Because what's my plan is, I'm just gonna react to some Onision videos, some people talking about Onision, see what we come up with. Nothing really is happening right now that is popping up. I'm still subscribed to Repsion and Jacqueline, just in case something pops up. Those are the two people I'm willing to listen to for 1 minute. Just so they lay down their concerns or whatever. Because I wanna hear fear. I wanna hear that there's doubt in the air. That they might have been making a mistake this whole time. That's the most entertaining part that has to happen, because that confirms that it's going up and up. The pressure is on. The pressure is building on. If people make that's a very interesting strategy. If people make a mistake, somehow Onision just allows that to happen, allows the mistake to accumulate until he breaks basically and has to leave YouTube, and then slowly he regains reputation potentially. And I'm glad to be here with you guys. If you on his side, if you on the opposite side, you have to explain to yourself what grooming is about, what are these allegations about, because I don't respect that. I don't respect people getting hurt feelings-wise. If you Again, lose your sense of safety. That's not a feeling. That is a problem in the system that will constantly haunt you because it has to be fixed. If something has to be fixed, absolutely, we can talk about it. But if you just feel bad about a person, shut the fuck up. You don't have reasons, alright, to express your feelings on the internet. No one cares. You can talk about little factoids around here, and people might listen to you, to your little video essay, or whatever you have to say. But it's still a very disrespectful move, because why the fuck do you care? Why do you care? Is some internet anomaly, Onision? For me, technically it is, but there's a spicy little factoid that I did not mention yet, but I mentioned many times already, and I put it in the YouTube Rewind alongside with Onision as well. Is the Discord experience. It's one of the better Discord experiences I had. Second place, let's put it that way. Maybe third place because Antwinum is also pretty decent experience, but let's put Onision still at the second place on Discord. Why is that? Because I dragged someone into my own Discord that didn't last very long. I don't think the relationship is gonna be good anymore. She showed up on my birthday, I don't know, to look like a little freak. But, I wouldn't expect good people to be attracted by Onision at this point. They have to be somewhat deranged. I don't call myself deranged. I'm just living in the shadows, so everything you feel about me is like flipped upside down. And until I become a normal person, you can't really judge me, unfortunately. You just have to take my word for it. Because I care about principles, I care about becoming normal as soon as possible. Because there's a lot of pressure on top of me when I come to become a normal person or something else entirely. If I can even pop and explode in popularity, I don't know. I don't know what's possible necessarily. Or how it's possible, or how it's gonna feel like, and what kind of impact it's gonna. I don't know, man. Living in shadows is just absolute insanity, bro. But you found this video, and I found you, and it's I propose a relationship, guys, because I need friends and stuff, and I need eyeballs for my videos or thumbnails, whatever you like looking at. Just get yourself comfortable, because I'm trying to grow on YouTube, and I need a little bit of support. All right, not financial, but whatever you feel comfortable with. That's the spot. All right. Now, why do I need that? Because living in shadows, like, it's a survival mode. You're constantly bombarded with a lot of problems. And I don't know what Onision is doing. Is Onision fucking playing with shadows as much as possible? Technically, that would be the thing. In fact, I became a little bit creepier the moment I was like, oh, celebrity is actually really attractive, and I should review their stuff. First starting with music, and then like starting to collect photos and everything. And I just fell for it, man. I fell really hard, to the point now that I have the Powerpuff Girls collected, and all four of them have tremendous amount of value accumulated. $1 is technically equivalent to 1 minute of time. It is ridiculous. All right, to have like 13,000. I can give you guys the hours. 200 hours per person, at least, in last 2 years. All right? Last 2 years. So I'm spending tremendous amount of time caring about people, putting them together, because I want to collect the top 100 most influential people for my YouTube Rewind. Because I'm YouTube CEO, technically. I just don't get paid. But I put in the most work. You can argue with that. I would love that. But you have to show a proof that there's someone better than me, basically. It's a big deal. All right, so let's start. I mean, we should get a vibe on Onision in general. Let's see what the most interesting part. This is the without makeup thing. It's like the second most watched Onision video besides Banana. Let me double check if I'm saying the truth. It's over here. Maybe there's like a music video more watched, but specifically this one comes second when you rate with views, view count. So, is it creepy to look at faces? Other people's faces and rate them? Is it grooming if the person is like underage and stuff? They're not supposed to exist on the internet? See, the problem is there has to be a certain amount of grooming for a person to prepare themselves for being an adult. And you don't want to just hit 18 and become a porn star, do you? You must understand what these concepts are about. And it's like, for a lot of people who are not groomed, they will think porn star is where you just sell your body for money and nothing really happens. And I'll tell you, you just die. You just technically die. It's like being Andrew Tate and scamming a bunch of people. You die. Your future just evaporates. You don't have a future because you're going to be a known as porn star or a scammer. You're not going to have reputation for your future. You're not going to have hopes and dreams and something to fight for because you just easily got it with money. Nothing works when you do these things. So you must understand and be groomed so you are scared of doing these terrible mistakes in real world. You better be groomed. But like, people don't see that. People don't fucking see that. That this is actually a positive thing that Onision did. But try and smear Onision as much as, contribute to this nonsense. Just don't get burnt like a witch for being overly negative about something you don't actually care about. You have to contribute as best as you can. But if you just got sucked into a black hole of negative opinions, probably because you were attracted to negativity too. Not because Onision was negative, but you got attracted to. And it's, a black hole of negativity. That's a crazy move for a celebrity to do. You must never underestimate a celebrity for any move that they make, especially if they have a titsy-bitsy of reputation or common sense or sanity. If they have that, you gotta be very careful what the fuck you do and how you maintain this relationship with a celebrity. Everything you say could be used against you. So make sure that it actually matters to you is the most defensive thing you can do. The greatest armor is being reasonable. Because your body gets in sync with your thoughts, with your feelings, everything's in sync, and you can defend yourself against anything pretty much. Because you feel here, everything is like super vivid to you, all the problems can be just deflected. Right now, I personally don't have any problems. I'm sponsored by my mom to sit in my basement and do whatever the fuck I want. Yes, that would mean if my mom takes too much damage and disappears, I would have problems surviving. But why is that? Why is no one really caring about my videos? Are they really that bad? I agree. I'm a flawed human being. I don't know how to put out good content that everyone would enjoy, but I also don't want to be a robot that just reads from a script. That is as low as you can go as a human being, just reading from a script as your performance piece and editing for hours and hours. No, bro, this is not gonna happen. Not me. That's not me right there. I need to improve my actual human skills, things that are actually lacking in the real world. even communication is actually lacking, and as you can see, there's a lot of miscommunication going on. Like, Onision needs to feel comfortable being interviewed, being in public, those sorts of things, instead of the only public appearance he's doing is like a lawsuit in court, right? Like, what is that? That's not how you solve problems, and you should have learned from Penguin or Moist Critical facing Sneeko. They just kind of calmed down because, like, oh, now we're gonna just exchange ideas finally. You know, we were so violent because we thought we don't understand each other, and when they face each other, they like understand that they don't understand each other. They at least understand that. They exchange a few ideas that they might not agree with, but it's fun to talk to, and then realize that you're not really enemies. And that's also what has to happen often enough. It's just a good little conversation, a good little exchange of, stress. Because different people can tackle different forms of stress, basically. That's why exchange of ideas is also very important. It's important not to get silenced, not to get sucked into whatever weird self-expression you have in store that is fake. If you just fake self-expression, I'm sorry, bro. It feels like Onision was quite a real person, basically. Especially with the last videos I've said, somewhat emotional. I don't want to bring it back up again. Not because it's too emotional, it's just I don't watch videos twice. That would be weird. That's the weirdest thing. We can just move forward. If I don't have to move backwards, I'll just move forward. And there's more things to watch, basically. Well, what if I check his actual channel, the view count? You can see there's some weird things. This video got highlighted for some reason. We'll see. In here. Internet search history and whatever. There's a lot of, rising YouTube channels that I have to compete against. But they're mainly just robots, and at some point we're just gonna have pure AI channels. How you will be able to withstand that without losing your mind? You're literally willing to watch AI channels? I don't know, man. Brace yourselves. It's much creepier than being groomed. Not even seeing people get groomed, but like literally being groomed is how you're gonna feel when you face AI technology. Cause you're gonna feel like you're being gaslit every single day. You will not feel safe opening your applications because you will feel like at any point an application could go rogue and just inject you with AI technology, bro. Not your body, but like literally everything you use. Or who knows, man? Pixels on your screen could be real estate for China. Who knows, man? It is crazy what is possible out there. So you have to appreciate what you have right now while it's free, and just make sure that it's again important to you, and you're learning as fast as possible, and you are listening to new and actually interesting opinions out there. Not just mine, I'm a loner. I'm in an echo chamber. Of course I will have interesting new opinions for people, but I will have unchallengeable opinions too, where if I don't get to talk to someone, it's not really interesting. It's not really out there in the real world. So you have to keep accumulating a lot of different opinions out there, and understanding how personalities work. For example, as I've said, Onision technically is a more psychopathic person who's willing to take damage, to deal damage, basically, to get his influence back when he needs to. This is I heard that on TikTok. I've shown that the psychopathic way is to always throw scissors, and everyone beats you with rock eventually. But whenever you feel like it, you will bounce back by just throwing paper in the right spots. And people will not be able to predict when you're going to do that, when it matters to you. You know, when you're actually starting to climb stairs. And if people don't actually care about you, they won't be able to predict your moves anymore. That's the spot. It's almost like Onision has been always dealing the same hand, the same strategy, but he's probably going to switch any time. And we won't be able to fucking recognize what is going on anymore. And that's my prediction. That's the best case scenario that I can come up with. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Onision can break under pressure as any human being can. But painting him as a immoral person, I just can't do that personally. Despite caring about morality so much, I'm having problems, guys. You can try and convince me. Again, in the comments, I reply to everything. And have as long as a conversation as you feel like having with me. Because I definitely, admire survival mentality. I'm a survivor of shadows, of a shadow way of life. So I have to, appreciate people who survive with their insecurities and stupidity. In my YouTube comment section, just reacting to characters on the screen and being emotionally explored that way, I mean, I have to appreciate that. It's a very difficult thing to do these days. And as much as I'm like being sarcastic, like I don't know how difficult it is for most people. Most people just freak out over anything because they think they can just not just clean their own bodies, but they can also clean the rest of the internet or the rest of the environment that they live in. That's what being a snowflake is all about. Not just you're clean, but you believe that everything is snow as well. But you know what else is snow? White noise. It's cold. It bothers people. You have to, find ways to keep yourself warm or you die. So don't be a fucking snowflake, because that's painful. Alright? If there's too many snowflakes around, we're just gonna have to migrate to, warmer places. A fun fact, the average watch time of this video is about 2.5 minutes. Weird flex, but okay, am I right? I almost had like 6 minutes at some point. When you have super fans, they suck up your videos like crazy. You just gotta have long enough videos. But yeah, you must understand, like, most views come from insecure people that just kind of bounce off easily. They don't actually take in the full perspective. They don't even ask questions. They're just, again, emotional bouncy balls. Whatever they feel like doing, they're just gonna do that thingy. Yeah. And you can't really overreact. That's why YouTubers just look down upon people, because it's just, you're just playing with bouncy balls. You just, in a ball pit, swimming around, and somehow that's influential enough and you get subscribers out of that. And it's just like, what? What just happened? But yeah, I mean, if you know how to play better than other people know how to play, you outplay everyone else. You're the fun one around here. You have to really control reality for that to happen. You have to have tremendous amount of skills. And again, you have to appreciate every single YouTuber out there, especially if they have history behind them. If they are old YouTubers that, have left some kind of legacy out there. You just move on. Move on with your life if you feel negative towards someone like that. It's crazy. People these days just want to yell and hear themselves talk. They don't research, they don't respect reality, they don't care about facts. He kind of unsure what he means by facts if you put, the quotations, is because a quite unsafe is become quite unsafe place for honest people. I mean, safe or unsafe, you can't just be honest. You have to have all kinds of virtues. All right, you have to be full dimensional. Because if you're just a honest person, you will still get in trouble for other things, for not caring about yourself. Let's say you make a lot of crimes, and now you're just a honest person. Just one good thing can now destroy your life. Being overly honest is not actually a good idea. It's totally fine to hide flaws that people would attack you for, because you must understand most people are vicious, especially when they get jealous and they see that you have more power than they do, so they feel like they're losing control of reality instead of sitting down and learning anything. Unfortunately, honesty is not the only thing that you must project, and that's what Onision kind of defaulted into. His behavior, basically trying to be as honest as possible, but what he cared about was, again, a black hole mentality that he has to defend himself, and the more he defends himself, the more he puts himself into trouble. As I've said, that's the honesty trap. Because again, if you keep defending yourself, what's wrong? What are you doing? Shouldn't you be confident? And it's a weird situation because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes of having 2 million subscribers. Do you have that many? Do you know how easy it is to have something like that? It's stuck in your brain constantly. Across multiple channels too. Just, it is crazy. I don't know how that feels like. I don't know how that cripples your mentality. And when it becomes negative, it's almost like a game over feeling as well. It's like, so the fact that he was able to exist on the internet up to this point is still very respectable stuff. And yeah, there's Repsion over there, I guess.
In Florida, they are also going after YouTube, which is fascinating to me. I don't know how this is going to play out. I don't really have any speculation other than, wow, they're going after YouTube too for damages because they allowed him to be on the site for so long.
Ah, yes, my favorite argument. People like that shouldn't exist on the platform. Yes, Onision. We need book readers and kind of lewd people with their flaunting their bikinis and stuff. No. It's definitely interesting. Going after you, it's such a power trip for people. They're just like, oh, I figure out how to do a lawsuit. Anyone who has damaged my life will be responsible. I love it. But, I mean, lawsuit is outside of YouTube's range of things to do. Alright, it's now an adult game. Inside here is just a playground, and you might want to stick around. If you grow up with YouTube, it's going to the next level soon enough, but we're still just gonna experience some interesting things before the culmination. And as a YouTube representative, voluntarily, I will defend the cases as best as I can. You think YouTube has damaged your life somehow? Let me check. How does consent work? How do you just click on a video and you have no consent and you have to watch the video and stuff? You can click away from this video and stop listening right now. How can YouTube do damage when it's like fully consensual idea? Are numbers intimidating you? Is there something wrong? Is your mind broken? Support smaller YouTubers, whichever ones you like. More. But there's a creep in the internet, I feel like. Because I don't understand him and his perspective. Yeah, man. And so you're gonna power trip, right? Like Andrew Tate into a wall. Just with his Bugatti. Boom! Oh, and lawsuits. But in this case, it's the opposite lawsuit. Where just Onision's gonna sit there and just take it. Take the damage. Because, like, fuck it, What are you gonna do? He has nothing to lose if he's down. If nobody likes him anyways. There's no consequences that can be possible. And he's just gonna take the pain. Like a psycho that he is. And he's gonna enjoy it. Because, Onision knows a lot of people will still relate in one way or the other, whether they are smearing him or are super fans. They're gonna just copycat the behavior and feel the same feelings that he feels. So Onision himself will not feel bad, but the people around him will feel a lot worse collectively, and will actually take the damage from lawsuit and all these things that you think Onision is going to be humbled with. Like, that's not going to happen. In fact, the start of the video was this little tweet.
Hey, hi, hello, here's an interesting tweet. Still waiting to get sued. How's that going, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, that's the psycho way of delivering your confidence. Who knows who's gonna win, alright? But Onision is capable of hiding the whole fucking situation by not showing that he's uncomfortable or something. And again, the question is, how much do you have to pay for lawsuits? Because that shit is crazy, bro. It's like, why? What kind of damage do you do? Even the weirdest thing I'm gonna bring up, sometimes even rape doesn't do damage. If you do it some fucking spectacular way, obviously, if it's a miraculous way, but technically you do have to lure in a person and ask for consent and all these things. But, like, you could still feel rape in the end of, like, oh, I tricked you and stuff. You can take away their consent after the fact. And a lot of people might feel the same way, too, about Onision, of, like, oh, everyone hates Onision? Of course you groomed me and violated my rights and my consent. Of course, that's what happened. Your memory becomes corrupted by other people's perspectives after the fact. So that can also happen. There's a lot of fucking weird twists and turns in reality, bro, that I've been learning endlessly. I just sit here, hours and hours of learning, and other people gonna sit there alongside with me and say that they have an opinion on things. Wow. Are you sure? You look like you have a nice life. I've been put under a lot of pressure. I don't know if you could handle the same pressure. And that's where the fun begins, So I clicked on Repsion's video just to laugh at the fact that he's gonna break down another piece of paper. It's the new level of YouTube entertainment. You must not be sucked into a behavior like this. You must, as a YouTuber, you must be entertaining first and then educational. On top of that, if you can reach that level, I'm like forcing education, but I'm trying to understand that like boredom is pretty bad, stress is pretty bad. Let's not have something like that. Let's try to be smooth as possible and learn from other YouTubers and pick up the vibe of what can I do to improve myself on both occasions. So, again, I put entertainment first to some extent, but not really, because I have to exaggerate my actual, proposal of like, I will definitely educate you on a lot of things you thought you knew, but not really. And that could also be ridiculously entertaining because education can turn you into learning skills that open your worldview, and then you can entertain yourself. So it's its own roller coaster ride, where entertainment comes last. This little thing, I try to like just pull people into education because then we can just relax, like play card games or whatever is entertaining to you personally. I like card games. And now I play Trackmania or something. I'm sure with other people I would be able to come up with even cooler things, but that's what I do on my own. And that works. If I do it on my own, that works, and somehow entertaining me without much of a need of social pressure and stuff like that, which is a very manipulative way of life. But if without it something works, then it truly definitely works, and you can totally trust it. Which is why you have to respect shadows, because anything that comes from the shadows, from lonely people, you can call me an incel and get yourself blocked from my YouTube comments. What's gonna happen? Well, not really good things. You won't be able to interact anymore. And if I blow up, you'll have to suck it up and try to call me a creep and something. Smear me, to just get a bit of attention for your stupidity. Don't crash into a tree. You won't get a second chance that easily. So be careful. Don't play with me. Onision probably does the same thing, blocking people. I mean, obviously. At least he puts comments under review. I think that's the actual case. He puts comments under review. Because it doesn't matter whether a person is blockable or not. You might still not want to actually publicize their opinions. That's what I also learned after checking his video. After I posted something, there might be a comment. I need to like double check. So on Ethan's channel, last video, I made a comment under a specific person, and I said in my previous video that I will double check if I get confirmed. So I will do a mysterious move. But I didn't got a single like, so that means I didn't really get confirmed. I made more replies to people. Yeah, I'm not getting likes. I mean, again, he could be busy, just gave up on confirming comments or whatever, reading them, because that's a tough job as well. Everything's a tough job at YouTube, but you have to find the sweet spot of which ones you want to actually tackle, which problems you actually want to tackle, what is important, and that's also very complicated stuff. Again, Mr. Beast replays a quote in my brain of like, oh, YouTube Rewind is impossible. It's impossible in today's age because there's so many different channels doing different things. But the reality is that's not what Rewind is about. It's not about highlighting every little single thing, which I will still gonna do. Not only am I gonna highlight every single thing because it is possible, but you have to sugarcoat it so it's digestible as well, which it's a challenge for me personally because nothing I do is digestible, but maybe if I put 6 months of development into it, not like full-blown, full-time development, just 20 minutes each day, 10 minutes each day, And slowly it's going to accumulate into something, right? And Onision is going to be a part of YouTube Remind. I'll just going to remind you guys. He has almost 2,000 points. It's very difficult to challenge that. Right now, the gold value is actually at 16. And Onision will need to do something. He might fall out, alright? Or you guys might find so much dirt about him, and you might not actually feel the same way I do whatsoever, despite watching this far. It's possible to, you know, push Onision out, because he's an embarrassment on this platform. But right now, he's embarrassing so many people that Onision is tremendous value to this platform. And if you disagree, holy shit, be my guest. Tell me your story. Holy shit, I definitely want to hear you with my ears closed. Alright? No, you gotta make your case in a YouTube video, not in a lawsuit. You gotta show your face, you know, before you do weird, actually creepy things. It's actually creepy to throw a lawsuit when all I saw is a piece of paper and I didn't saw even a person's face. Have you really been damaged so much that you became a criminal? I don't think that's on Onision. Onision shows his face all the time. He cannot do bad things, guys. It's very difficult to do bad things when you're fully fucking exposed where you live and how you look like. Like, how the fuck do you do bad things in that situation? You can only do bad things when you're anonymous. Alright? Welcome to hour number 2. Yeah, there's a lot of feelings attached to this whole situation. And just unraveling the whole thing, as I'm growing as a person as well, is overwhelming. It's ridiculous. Onion color, by the way, yellow. Or banana color. But he got it. He got both. Combine them together, and you get gold that never really fades away, doesn't it? Just with his name alone, he can achieve gold wherever he goes and whatever he does. So, which one do we start? Do we flip a coin? It's terrible. Now, it is quite a question of, like, why would you read Onision's book? But that's the fucking thing. That's the psycho move of throwing a lot of stupid shit out there on the internet and asking people, will they actually care about it for some stupid reasons? Because that's funny, you know? So Onision, at very least, is a wonderful comedian. He just makes a shitty book, and people actually read it, and it's like, why would you do that? Why would you read a book from a YouTuber to begin with? Do you not know how it works? Books are for losers. Don't you enjoy YouTube videos? Don't you have, like, infinite amount of content in your fingertips? You need to buy a book? You have to go to a bookstore? You have to waste time? That is comedy genius move, bro. That is hilarious. And there's another thing I want to say to this girl. This is a very important thing I have to say. Nerd! I'm trying to recover from this because this is so stupid. Crazy just made a fucking salad of cancer, bro.
Okay, out of all the Against the Current band and crew, who would you not let date your...
Who would you not let date your child from band and crew? Your child. What the fuck is... What is this? I'm sorry. See, that's a little bit creepy right there. That's... What the hell? Even though you, like, understand the premise and, like, yeah, okay. But isn't there, like, a better way to ask this question? Your child? What the fuck, right? So probably the funniest thing in Onision's case, besides allegations, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like that's the thing. Now, what is happening? What is like the worst thing? What is the story behind his crimes and pattern of behavior of being a bad guy on the internet and stuff? Because again, it just seems like a snowflake behavior, and he just dated a lot of toxic people. Technically, that couldn't the girls just leave the relationship? What was going on? What was the non-consensual violent part about Mr. Greg? Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's the... Can I find like the Catch the Predator episode? Cause that guy showed up on PewDiePie's videos as well. The Catch the Predator show. I mean, now I know the dude. Back when people were talking about it, I was like, who is catching predators? Now I kind of understand what's going on. And still, I mean, clearly, it's a lot of deranged. There's a lot of deranged, psychologically deprived people, and again, you have to split 50-50. You have to question the system as much as people themselves for sucking up to the idea of just they have enough power to an attraction to pursue a child, basically. But no, from my perspective, I have a lot of frustration of just being left alone, completely alone. No one even laughs at me, at my direction. I can't even cry about it. Of like, people hate me because of this and that thing. I don't know what the fuck is happening. There's just a very loud silence, a noisy silence, where I get to just use eyeballs and stare at people, basically. Basically, I can do whatever Greg is doing, but even more intensely because that's all I can do. Just look at people and evaluate their work. Technically, I'm doing like a lot of React with you. And my personality doesn't match. But we'll see, See, the funny thing about Onision is his form of comedy is his form of like being overly social but not really caring about it. Just, it's for the sake of just being cool and stuff. And I don't see, other people having that many relationships. And, when you're dealing with so many people and almost like not caring what kind of people you deal with, you will get entangled into some garbage as well. So you must understand the chances of dealing with garbage if you're dealing with relationships. The chances are pretty goddamn high. Alright, some people gonna be good actors in your videos, and some people gonna date you and ruin your life. And in both cases, people are just greedy, and they're just selfish. They're just looking for your weaknesses. As a content creator yourself, you might not really care, you might just care about yourself as well. It's a very weird dynamic, especially with people in their 20s. They're more toxic than some whatever Greg is right now. He's old now. And if he's not repeating offenses, that's also should be considered as like, well, he moved on. He's not that guy anymore. He was a weirdo, maybe, if you didn't like him for some reason. But it's still so difficult to find like a full explanation of what the fuck is going on and why people care so much and what is so outrageous about this. Like, I don't get it. And calling names is not an argument. It's not an explanation. It doesn't explain anything. It's just like, that's what you feel like doing, turning Greg into a clown, and pushing the button so hard that you need lawsuits to feel emotional about the case. You know? Yes, welcome to zombie apocalypse, basically. People just trying to grab power by any means necessary, and usually just use the power for entertainment purposes. There's nothing honorable about this. This is so pathetic. I can barely like watch videos right now because there's so many pathetic things that I have to talk about. But let's jump into what other people say. Let's see how old Onision videos are holding up in terms of exploring his personality a little bit more. And the way to find these videos. 1 second. So these are the most viewed. But if you do upload date, you get the newest ones, and this should give you another video about this nerd. Absolutely. Same time and place, boys. Enter the Onion Mind, boy. And again, sardines. Normies have to play into the narrative that Onision bad. Just like Trump is bad. Orange Man bad. Why? That's the narrative. I don't... Like, no one can actually explain none of these things. But if you can't explain something, you're not invested enough. I'm sorry, bro. You don't know what the fuck is going on. You're just being, funny enough, ironically enough, pulled by the current. Because, I just showed you Chrissy from Against the Current band. And, anything can look creepy and look weird. But again, what Onision is doing is just entangling himself into the world of women. Because maybe he wants to pick up more women. And he figured out how to attract women is to just care about how they look, or just jump into their world, judge them, interact with them to the max, basically. That is the strategy. And showcasing that strategy is pretty fucking legit business. Alright? Instead of actually picking up women, just showing people that you're surrounded by women and that women are doing weird things in your videos. I watched one of these with the fucking crazy thumbnail and stuff. This thing. And she's like kind of narrating the whole video, and Onision is just ignoring her. And then she goes on and does that, what you see on the thumbnail. Gets kind of naked. It's like, please, aren't you attracted? And it's so cool because Onision gets so much attention he doesn't care. It's kind of fancy, dude. It just explains you what the fuck is going on. And also that technology is sometimes cooler than women, potentially, especially if you don't like them. But in this case, I'm a little bit annoyed because she does look attractive, and like, what is going on? But you know, it's like Onision can afford these two minutes because, again, he put in so much work to entangle himself into a lot of relationships, and he can show that he's cool and doesn't care about one of them for a certain amount of time, and can put a girl on a thumbnail half naked. That is high level status, bro. That is a flex that you can call it an Andrew Tate flex. Just the different type of that, where Andrew Tate doesn't show a single woman that he's dating with until they get exposed of like, did you get abused? They get found, you know, by the, you know, by justice system. I don't know what's catching Andrew Tate right now. But, You can see like the opposite of Andrew Tate, where you get to see not the wealth, but interconnected personality that can just kind of manipulate other people. And where's Tate in the power level, right? Tate is slightly above Onision, but technically it's a match. 200 points difference? I don't know. Not a big deal for me. It's Chris Hansen doing it? That's a new narrative. I didn't heard that before. But that's the guy we're talking about, right? The catch the predator dude. He's helping. This is interesting. Let's see if that's he showcases that. Cause that is something else, bro. I think Chris Hansen is asking for it, man. I think Chris Hansen is playing with not just fire, but like literally Satan. Satan's belly button. Oh, you want to touch my belly button? Oh, Chris Hansen. You fearless little shit. Oh my god. Because at some point you can catch so many predators that you become a predator yourself. And then you gotta be caught yourself and see how it feels like, you know? I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see your stuff, Chris. I think I smell a fish in there. I might not be into little girls, but definitely gay for some predator behavior. By the way, I am into little girls. Just so you know. I'm not here to incriminate myself, but I saw some, jailbait material. Now it's banned from the internet. And it's so cool. It is the coolest thing ever. Girls just kind of toying with each other suggestively. Like, that's not porn. And the transition has to happen. At some point. They have to care about sex to try and understand it and project it to the world. Yes, it's actually quite dangerous because jailbait material now can be face searched, which is even crazier. And 18-year-olds still look ridiculously young. I have to throw it out there because I have a frustration of like, jailbait, why was it banned? You're gonna stop predator behavior that way? It's the same argument with drugs, basically. Do you give drugs or not give drugs? I actually haven't solved this argument. The drug argument I didn't solve because for me drugs is like stupid shit. Like, no one needs drugs. But if you do need drugs, you're an idiot. It shouldn't really be banned, I think. But it shouldn't be encouraged either. It has to be like a very sophisticated solution to that. But in jailbait case, also very similar case, I would say. It's kind of like drugs, and I don't need that shit. Now I'm into lewd people and celebrities, and I don't know if you can match my level in this case. But technically, like, you can vibe with celebrities easily. It's not that big of a deal, and I just showcase what's possible out there all the time. And what's, like, really entertaining for me in case I do get bored and I have nothing better to do. Alright, let's see. Chris Hansen shows up on both lawsuits? Is that what he's doing? Because that is not really cool, man. He's fighting now a person with 2 million subscribers. Little Chrissy. Which is so funny and ironic because, again, we just mentioned Chrissy for some reason. What the fuck is she doing in my brain right now? Anyways, let's see the proof. Yeah. Google is not responsible for this. So you can see the derangement or the greed of some kind in It's ridiculous at this point. And this guy highlights perfectly. Is that the quote? But it is an offense in America, which you can be convicted on and be thrown in jail for when combined with other charges. Wow, everyone is so educated, guys. Everyone's so educated, and they don't question themselves. Do I even exist on YouTube, first of all, and have any reputation? And am I a lawyer? Why am I entertained by all this information? And I know all this information. Even saying grooming is not a crime is a crime because why the fuck do you care? The only time I cared if I'm doing something wrong is right now that I sit with a fucking strike up my ass from YouTube bots. Alright? I'm like, what did I do wrong? Alright? Let's see what I did wrong. Talked about elections in some weird way. Oh, oops. I have no ill intentions. I don't know how you can criminalize that shit behavior. What the fuck, right? It's a crime if it gets punished. If it's enforced to be punished. That's it. There's no morality attached to that. All right, whatever government decides, it's a crime. But if you suck up to the government, you are an enemy, my friend. To someone, you're someone's enemy. Just like Chris Hansen is an enemy of predators. If they united, someone is gonna lose their head over that. All right, so someone's gonna start losing their head really fast. I hope the name is not Chris, you know. But that would be the idea. Just because you identify crimes or not crimes, I'm sorry, bro. You're not educated whatsoever. You're just sucking up to the government now. You don't actually care. So it's very lovely to see stuff in the comments, and they just fucking roll in the gayest form possible. Alright. Example. Blah, blah, blah. Sending dick pics. Oh my god. It's like, how the fuck do you know all this stuff? It's ridiculous. Because you need more explanation. I don't know how to read this part. These are just things. You have to talk about abstract things. Example, not really applicable here, because I don't understand, bro. Oh, someone said dick pics. I don't know, man. I think with my heart when it comes to this sort of behavior. What makes sense? You know, what feels right? And for now, it doesn't feel right that I don't know the full story, and I don't know how to approach Onision. I actually said in the previous video too, which direction do I have to look at Onision and see a bad person? Just show me the direction. Obviously, I don't have enough following to make that from happening, or to happen, make that to happen. But yeah. And these are just some fucking game moves. Let's see, let's keep going.
That it's supposed to be in.
I actually have another thing in my system, basically. I got banned from a lot of Discords. You probably can tell why. Because I have opinions and stuff. And people don't feel comfortable somehow. And it makes me question, what is going on in their brains? How did this disease happen? Or I'm just putting effort. I'm not really trying to offend anyone. I just want to express myself and have a conversation. And somehow that's bad. That is bad. And Onision brings up the same kind of ideology where being honest and trying to express yourself, somehow is deemed bad and you can't do any of that. But it's another power greed move. Because on Discord, a monkey presses a button and you disappear. Monkey's happy. Monkey with buttons. Lots of power. Happy monkey. Wow. The monkey can do a lot of things on Discord whenever it feels like doing that. And then you get to experience how actually difficult it is to have a non-corrupt government in place. And while other people are sucking up or throwing lawsuits at Google, which also is going to be a government, basically, that will have to have laws. YouTube will have to have laws when it goes to the next level of existence. Right now, it just still can do corporate nonsense and put a lot of things under the rug. But pressure is building up. You just not... whatever this is happening, Google will respond. I will respond as a YouTube CEO. But the outcomes is not going to be, favored against Onision. I mean, Onision is going to be favored, but everyone who's invisible or not making YouTube videos, you're not going to get benefits from that. You have to participate in a proper manner. You have to show that you care about YouTube in the first place and you understand how the algorithm works and you're familiar with everything and you tried the YouTube way of taking your battles through YouTube. If you don't like something, chances are you can still pursue a very simple strategy of doing the same thing that you don't like that has been done to you. Delivering a karmic consequence. Someone stole $10 in a particular way, and then you start stealing $10 in a particular way that is not a crime, it's a scam that you have learned because you got scammed. It happens often enough, the spread of the scam, basically. People don't talk about this. And if someone offended you on YouTube, made a weird video about you on YouTube, or there's a YouTuber you don't like, you can fight back. But there's so many people jumping on boards to fight against Onision, they get blinded by the greed or the thought that it actually works somehow in their favor. And the idea is it doesn't. But the fight went so deep that they created all these lawsuits. And they're flexing on the rest of the world. Like, look, we did the paperwork thing. Aren't you guys proud of us? We're also attacking not Onision, Google and YouTube. Nothing bad is going to happen to us. The question is, how can they afford this? And it's a stretch him saying that Chris Hansen is doing the whole thing, but definitely those girls are not doing it themselves, and Chris Hansen is behind it somehow. I absolutely agree with that. I just don't know what the fuck is going on. Still, and I don't think there's going to be proof for that. So this is very interesting stuff.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, he's now kind of tackling the idea, trying to sniff out Chris Hansen. It's kind of funny. But another interesting thing that's popping to me is all the stress. Like, Onision has to be under a lot of stress right now, right? And stress is a very painful thing because I would imagine it affects your lifespan. There's a lot of things to consider when you're tackling a lifespan idea. I've never really looked into it and broke it down for myself, but I have to at some point, right? What makes you live longer? What kind of behaviors, basically, to avoid? That has to be like a very simple 10-point video or whatever that you can break down. One particular thing is fast walking, ridiculously effective in prolonging your lifespan. But it's like a clear mind type of behavior like you technically stressing yourself. You're taking control over stress by stressing yourself, putting yourself under as much pressure as you can handle. And so you just walk fast, you just go to your destination, do your thing, and not allow outside forces to actually interact with you in their way. You just show your capacity to retaliate, I would feel. And that's quite a vibe that I, found. It's the only clue I have right now in terms of a lifespan idea. And so you filing all these lawsuits. So I thought about it. I was almost trying to make a joke in the comments of like, oh, Chris Hansen is shortening his lifespan. But it could be very true, where you just subject yourself to a lot of this stressful situations, and there's no need for that. But if you feel like it, I guess it's the only clue that makes Chris Hansen the culprit behind this. It's the fact that they're going against YouTube. Can you smell why that is? This guy's a fucking movie TV star, right? Of course they would go against YouTube whenever they have a fucking chance. Especially if predators are not gonna show up on YouTube. Might as well, make our little business more lucrative, making videos. Now it could just be a gone and done thing, and they're not actually making any more stuff. But somehow Chris Hansen is still active, with his duty to do this stuff, apparently. So it is quite a question. But yeah, it seems like Chris Hansen's handprints are all over this document. Not gonna lie. Formerly known online as Lanybot, Lady, and Kai. That's so funny as well. I don't know, all these names, bro. Catch me outside, man. But which name am I? How you gonna call me? Which one do you like the most? It's kind of weird. Also, I don't know, bro. This is interesting. Bot is interesting. I mean, there's a relationship between Onision and Lainey, and she's like the bot. It's interesting because I got struck by bots, not liking my videos. So I'm like, oh, Onision has his own crew of government enforcement, basically. I love this shit.
I'd be like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's consider this, But
Again, he gets into this toxic relationship and allows something to happen in his life. See, there's a weird side of Onision, like being clueless of how toxicity works, because he has to like allow it to happen. He just has to allow it to be able to have a relationship. I don't know. It seems like he just allowed his ex in his apartment. It's kind of stupid. How? I don't know what the fuck, man. But another narrative you must understand, it has nothing to do with these specific details, is just the idea that Onision can always make videos about getting attacked and all of that. Now, he deleted most of that stuff. Not sure what the hell is going on. Why he's not comfortable with that. Himself speaking, or showing him his meltdown series. That it happens, alright? Again, I've seen Rebecca Black do the same thing, delete most of her Instagram history, and just leave the part where she like transformed, allegedly, And in this case, Onision left the deeper past when he was confident in the content that he was making. And it's a bad choice. It's a weird taste of sanity, I would say. Maybe he's trying to be respectful to the relationships or how people still talk about him, and that was the. But it's more like a pull the trigger decision. I liked again his attempts to rationalize what the hell is going on. It's still an attempt. I mean, I liked it in the past. Maybe I wouldn't like it now. But, I mean, the latest video, again, it was kind of fascinating. The description, as we looked at it, is flawless. I don't know how you can defeat this man, guys. He can only hurt himself at this point by not uploading videos, I guess. I don't know. But if he doesn't feel like he needs to, like, probably fine. Now I'm looking at this like compilation stuff. I'll get some scoops of what is going on. I don't know. A great compilation. Somehow lost it. Yeah, a bunch of fucking girls are invested into this weird story, and it's lame. Yeah, and now Discord feels like it's filled with children, even though it's supposed to even like rival YouTube or be like the dark side of YouTube, where you can actually post comments and communicate with people. But again, I've told you guys, I got banned really quickly. No warnings, nothing. No one wants to talk about it. People have insecurities and they're the toxic ones, trying to project that you're the toxic one. And it's such a shit show, because I never intended that to be the case. But people who are desperate for power, desperate for control, they will try to fucking trash you to the point where you don't belong here. And often enough, again, if you have authority, if you have the buttons to press, you will send the invisible police force to remove you from the game. I mean, it's just the easiest thing to do. In this case, it's very difficult, and people are trying very hard to remove Onision from the game, not realizing that being a YouTuber gives you some special status. It gives you a status of, like, he fucking exists and you do not exist. You know, it's like zero trying to defeat a one. You have to combine a lot of forces together, and technically the anti-Onision group is feeding upon a bunch of zeros as well who are trying to impact Onision, but they just feed these channels. And it was highlighted by this guy. You know, there's Repsion, again, there's Jacqueline that was inspired to make YouTube videos. They're just feeding on Onision's haters. They're not actually improving the situation here. You know, because the greatest situation improver is tackle the drama in the way that it disappears. Not gets worse, you know. But it's getting so out of hand that even these zero collectors, basically, the Onision hater collectors, they're also now like a sinking ship, seemingly. Now they're pushing the boundaries of what they can actually do by looking into fucking paper or having mixed feelings in the first place, having doubts. Like, you can see something is up, man. I don't know, I'll watch like 30 minutes of this thing. I'll watch these criticism videos and now original Onision stuff. And we're gonna leave with that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's almost like a heartbreaking story. Because now that he's a honorable person, entangled in so many toxic relationships, and he's just confused now of what the fuck is going on. Sitting in a roller coaster with all these girls that are trying to, you know, take advantage of him, seemingly. But, you know, it's just, the relationships don't work. from my perspective, just nothing works. I can't even have a conversation. So it's like I have nowhere to start until people become desperate to be normal again. Because they ain't normal right now. They think now that there's internet, there's social media, they can craft their own destinies. And you cannot craft that without respect. Yeah, it's Minecraft. What Minecraft? You gotta dig some dirt, dig some stone, some basic shit until you get to where you want. You can't just get gold immediately and start flexing as if you already achieved something. Oh wait, most people don't play Minecraft and they don't know what... No. It's the most popular game. You must understand. You dig through some shit, but like... if you're not confused at what you're doing, maybe Minecraft's enjoyable, but Minecraft is a plain experience. You need to find better than base Minecraft idea. And base life is also pretty weird, where people just doing traveling, buying pets, just walking around aimlessly. Zombie alert. You should be working. You should be working. Life is so much better if you just work for it. I'm working technically tirelessly so I don't get bored. It's the most basic thing. But looking at the boring behaviors of just sitting on the bench and talking, like my mom fucking sits in her bed, day and day just reads, doesn't know what to do. It's such a zombie behavior and it's so painful. And Onision is also entangled into a lot of relationships to care for the girls who just kind of slowly turning into zombies and he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. While he himself simply had to upload YouTube videos to keep his sanity, had to do something, had to express his opinion. If you don't express yourself, a lot of emotions just get clogged up and just drown you in silence and despair. That's what happens. And at any point you snap fingers, you turn into a monster too, and start dealing damage to society. These people, they are the hidden predators. They're so much more dangerous. They are school shooters wannabes. Or something equivalent to that. Onision is a fucking saint amongst sheep. For fuck's sake. And every YouTuber technically is on the same level, and they're similar saint levels, but Onision shows that there's, you can have a lot of dirt just artificially thrown at you. No good reasons, just because you were entangled with a lot of nobodies, basically. You looked at the comment section a little bit too hard, and your eyes popped out. Unfortunately, or just you contracted a needle in your eyeball. You looked in the wrong place at the wrong time. It can happen. Everyone is making mistakes right now, but if we don't learn fast enough, you're out of the YouTube game as well. There's still a competition brewing. I'm just late to the game, guys. Can I be YouTube CEO still? Am I not too late for that? Hello.
So if you want to follow my person...
This is interesting.
The roller coaster that is Onision, because I am a douchebag. So, yeah.
The worst thing I do, he says, is put people into emotional roller coaster. And, again, it throws me off into the idea that I can't even penetrate the society. It's like, oh, you're just a weirdo. You have opinions. You're not supposed to do that. And it's like, I'm not a sardine either, though. And I do deserve respect for the effort that I put in. And you guys don't know what principles are. And everyone struggles with society in their different ways. Especially if they're better than society. They become outcasts one way or the other. And, again, you have to use the tools that you have, and that's when your job shines through. The funny thing is, your job is not supposed to just sustain your ability to survive, monetary, but in terms of your soul escaping from problems, basically. Yeah, you can use your job as a vehicle for that as well. That's how you craft a perfect job position. All right, maybe you have to have 2 jobs. Who knows? But you have to be able to escape emotional and monetary problems at the same time. You have to use the platform that you get, basically, to, I don't know. I don't know how you solve these problems. I get to learn principles and stuff. I'm not technically working. I'm just in a limbo position, which is probably the even weirder part of the shadows. Because I don't actually have income in terms of the one that I feel like I'm supposed to get. Well, I probably shouldn't talk about it too much. Because even that could make... I mean, it's just like, I live in mom's basement. That's the idea. But that could... I mean, you can just create problem for yourself any moment. Don't you? Because everyone flickers the light switch of, can I grab more power from this person? Or can I abuse the person? The idea is principle of win-win works better than taking things away from other people. Unless you're zero, unless you're a black hole of suffering and despair, then of course you need love and compassion. To be left alone, to rot in nothingness. Enough love so you are identified and ignored for the rest of your life while you just do nothing with it. You got free life, you just decided to do nothing with it, congratulations. You decided not to exist. Right now, you technically need internet to exist. You need at least internet to be positive towards you, to feel that you are, doing the right thing. And Onision has been, the infiltrator, just like Rebecca Black is an infiltrator. And the reason why I came up with this idea is because Rebecca Black also entangled herself not into relationships, but into friendships with YouTubers specifically. Yeah, kind of higher status people. Because you have to if you're a popular kid, right? But it's a weird thing. You like literally have to find your level. And over time you will still realize that people can fall below that level, that it's still not... A YouTuber is not a label that you can just put on every single person. Easy enough to become a porn star or a scammer everywhere in the world, in any situation. It can happen. This is fascinating to me. I just sit here mesmerized by the whole situation. I'm actually watching more than I can chew, so let's just leave a like, because I can't eat the whole cake, But you like the cake, right? Yeah, sure. Running away from lawsuits. This guy fucking... What does he want to say, bro? And he just splits his fucking video into shorts to get more views. Like, this is pathetic, bro.
Line. Many even in person. I've completely and utterly given up counting on people to do the right thing. I say again, I've completely and utterly given up counting on people to do the right thing. It's funny that he says that because it feels a lot like protection. But who knows? And then it just goes on from there. It just seems like he's kind of playing the victim here, and when he is not the victim, he is the abuser. So there's that. More on
there is that projection when hypocrisy shows up in the same fucking minute. I love the hypocrisy. Like, you could have delayed the hypocrisy, but no. He's actually an abuser and a victim and all that thing. And he was doing projection when he was, like, disappointed in human beings. He's, like, projecting and stuff. He's not even attacking anyone. He's, like, cornered And a cornered person is not supposed to be pushed even further into a corner because there's nowhere to go. And Onision is just incapable of defending himself, and he is in a black hole of just trying to defend himself. And you can see another little sharky shark who wants bleedy nose for the rest of his life, you know, or just a broken fucking bone or something. I don't know, bro. Which one? Which bone are you willing to sacrifice for this shit? Because it's ridiculous. The hypocrisy just immediately sparks. And only evil people can spark hypocrisy this fast. Only fucking evil people. And you have to feel shame when you spark hypocrisy so fucking fast. If you catch me being hypocritical, maybe we can fucking smell out where evil is. Alright? Maybe I did something wrong too. Maybe that's the way to do it. But for fuck's sake. Again, a reminder, why hypocrisy is so goddamn evil. Alright? I need to dig my brain and find it right now. Because I don't want to be hypocritical and just throw a word out there and not actually explain. I believe I have it in here. In the sweet spot. Actually, I don't. But it's linked to a lack of knowledge. Or lack of self-awareness. That's a very good point. Alright, that's a good place to start. Hypocrisy hints at lack of self-awareness. Something either criminals or stupid people have. So in both cases, they have to be educated. And if they're criminals, they're going to get caught. And they have to pay their time for doing bad things. They have to think about what they did. In the fucking corner. In an actual corner. Alright? With other prisoners and stuff. How about that? Bleedy nose is the best thing that could happen to you. You're just gonna think about it for 3 days and move on with your life. So I offer that. Broken bone? Fuck it, man. You can brag of how crippled you are, get government money for that. I don't know. But prison is not something you can recover easily from, unfortunately. That shit tears you apart, and now you're gonna be ashamed for the rest of your life, because now that's how society works. The most crippling thing is doing something in society that's weird, or whatever. That you can't talk about, basically. I can talk about it because I'm in the shadows, I can do whatever I want. But even I have limitations of like, yeah, I lost a year and I gained money for it, so it's a win-win situation, guys. Or rather, a trade. I mean, I guess they got what they wanted, and I got what I wanted. But in reality, if you went to prison, you're a criminal for the rest of your life. You don't actually pay your time and get a clean record all of a sudden. Become a good man when you come out. No one expects you to do that, because prisons are not designed to actually fix the problem. But that's a story that I told when I talked about criminal justice's bullshit. Let's continue. Let's see how much hypocrisy is gonna happen next.
Corral those victims into.
Oh, you read a book now. But an interesting thing is brought up. Kai. Who the fuck that is? I think Kai was the actual criminal mastermind behind Onision, because, again, it's just the appendages that fucking hurt the most. It's the people that you kind of love because you're a honorable person, but they put you in a dangerous situation often enough to put you in trouble in the end. And now there's a question, because I don't believe Onision is the bad guy, but Kai, whoever that is, could very much be the culprit of everything. And hopefully, I mean, Onision just puts that shit, that just drowns Kai, just makes a sacrifice to the gods, basically, and he gets out, escapes the problem. I think it's possible. I think that's what Onision's supposed to do in order to just continue his life as if nothing has happened. Just throw someone overboard. He has to find just enough reasons to do that. It's painful to say that, because, you know, Onision is such a loving person. He has to go against his own, you know, self-programming or self-thinking, and actually make this special little chess move, you know, of sacrificing the rook! Yes!
Now sacrifice the rook!
Access you.
See, the reason why Kai would be my best guess is Kai is so sexually attracted to Onision. She's like, wow, this is a drug that I have to share with more friends, more people. That's crazy, right? But there's narratives out there like that, and it's exploring these narratives that just fucking blow my mind sometimes. So I'm just gonna escape the video before he creates another hypocrisy, because, you know, his video wasn't fucking useless. We have 10 more minutes. We're gonna watch this and eat some candy because, for fuck's sake, unfortunately I can't review Onision's content. We just ran out of time because things are so fucking out of proportion. Now, when you look at it from a sane perspective, I look from sane perspective. Why? Because I have nobody else, alright, telling me how I should feel, what I should do, what I should say. I have no insecurities. I have nothing better to do. I just focus on maximum speed. You won't be able to fucking reach my levels of speed, unfortunately. Even if you completed the video, I made it. I made it effortlessly as well. And if it doesn't impress you, watch something else from my channel. Congratulations. You can do that now. But let's finish the shit. It's a clickbait fucking little shit article, but there's something inside it, basically. A fucking ticking bomb. I have to watch something Chris Hansen said, basically. But the idea is, oh, the internet's biggest creep. So you label, you have an opinion about Onision. I love that part where it rhymes. And alright. And what do? Well, you talk about facts and nothing else. With the robot voice, basically.
I believe Jackson was being accused of a serious crime and
Fuck off. So, Chris Hansen, like, attacking YouTube for, like, Onision is using his notoriety to attack people, basically, harass people online. Here's the funny thing. Yeah, you can definitely break the limits by, like, posting phone numbers or whatever. That's something you don't want to, like, lose. Phone numbers is kind of work environment type of thing. Phone numbers is kind of crap. So maybe don't infiltrate that part. Don't dox that sort of information. But literally everything else can be exposed. Anything that's out there actually on the internet. You know, all the social media fucking stuff, all online presence, everything, bro. And people can be harassed because that's just what happens on the internet. You don't even have to encourage that. You can just say a sentence and people will just go with that. Try it out. Try out how harassment feels like. And maybe people will like it. Harassment is actually not a big of a deal. Alright? People blow it out of proportions, just like grooming. Unfortunate, and people can again say that I'm toxic and I'm harassing people. I'm just like desperate for conversation, not even attention. I don't get attention. I have no place to put your attention into besides trying to have a conversation to figure out what your experiences are about life, what my experiences are about life, what we can trade with. A little child's game. Alright? I have cards, you have cards, let's trade some cards, guys. But it's turning into an adult game because my frustration keeps growing because everyone treats my behavior as harassment as well. So when we weaponize these words and we say that this is bad, what can happen is a lot of people will seeking power will just continue saying it's bad to harass people without even thinking what harassment actually is and how impactful actually it is, or can it be used for good reasons. And again, what the definition of harassment is. How do you define it? How do you understand it? Just posting some mean comments a little bit? I receive comments from strangers. Is that harassment? I don't give a fuck, bro. You're a stranger. You have to understand some basic things to be able to survive harassment. It's there. It's bad when people being unreasonable. That's the highest level of harassment. I always try to be reasonable. You can't define me as harassing people. All right? You have to think of harassment as like somewhat of water torture, where just there's something leaking in your home and you just can't fix it. It's just someone else's intention is trying to create that droplet after droplet and is distracting you, and you have to take your revenge at some point if it doesn't end. At some point harassment is now a crime because it's disturbing you tremendously. And if you're a working person, harassment is a high-level crime. You're not supposed to distract people from their work, from their duties, basically. So there's different levels. You can harass losers. You cannot harass winners. It's a weird thing. It's a weird dynamic. Where, again, perhaps you can groom losers too, who don't groom themselves. And grooming means two things: to take care of your appearance, and in women's case, to take care of your social appearance, because they have to take care of that tremendously. That's what grooming is, boys. Initiation into society, and sometimes it becomes violent and very vocalized. I don't know how much of the stuff that you consumed you believe what I say, but this is the best understanding that I have right now. Things can improve, but they're not going to change that much. All right? Because I haven't changed my opinion, because no one actually has opinions, and no one will change my opinion, unfortunately. I can just sit here, do whatever I want, and it's going to work. The more I do it, the more it works. It's just the stupidest thing, but that's my job. It's a work now. Just to have an opinion constantly. Be the frontier of every single person's decision making. I will test it first with my, perspective. Don't blame me if something goes wrong. I will take some blame, because I don't want to be wrong. But if you actually decide to just go off and do what I say, where I don't actually give advice to do specific things, I advise people to just apply principles, if they can find some, that are applicable. Because principle is just something I have tested many times, and they seem to work for me. It is a question, does it work for other people too? Because you can be a good guy, but if you're in a bad environment, principle's not going to work for you, because people will try and destroy you for learning, for just the process of learning, for being technically a nerd, or nerding them, basically. It's a tough one. You have to be fully conscious of whether you have to escape your environment, you have to change things. You can't just adopt a few principles and pretend that your work is done. This is a constant, never-ending work that I will do, and hopefully it's just going to trickle down some free principles where you just automatically adopt them. But otherwise, it's a tough environment. So yeah, that's Chris Hansen basically attacks indirectly and now directly YouTube, and he has frustrations. Clearly, he's making all these lawsuits. Clearly, he's a fucking idiot at this point who doesn't understand how internet works. And yes, there are dangers on the internet. You can highlight that, but there's always the gray area, and if you mistreat the gray area, you have no fucking moral compass whatsoever. And I think Chris Hansen is just throwing himself off a cliff where he might be appearing in my videos soon. You know, I'm not planning to put Chris Hansen unless he shoots himself in the foot, and then I can finish the business, basically. Bury the corpse. I'll do the last thing that's needed, basically, for Chris Hansen to disappear. Because being hostile against YouTube is the last thing that you want to do. Alright, it's now a desperate move to do something ridiculously stupid. As your retirement plan, I totally agree. I totally agree, my friends. Take that sort of retirement. It's a very quick one, you know, snap of a neck retirement plan. I love that one. AI simply is very good at filling up Uncanny Valley. We normally have a huge hole in there because we're too scared to go that way, but AI doesn't care. And not only AI is just a tool to fill in the Uncanny Valley. And I praise YouTubers for doing the same thing, is to seek in life something uncanny that other people are not willing to put up with. They think it's cringe, they think it's disruptive, but you know, YouTubers have figured out how life works, and to them life is kind of boring, so they seek uncanny things to be normalized a little bit. You know, they dip below. You know, there's a platform, and there's the Uncanny Valley, and then there's gold, basically. You kind of want to reach the gold, but you're not aware of how it's going to work out. But you can definitely dip into Uncanny Valley in search for something, right? You can start your journey, basically, and see how far you're going to get, moving out of the platform. And you're going to come back and you'll be able to tell stories. But society will often enough going to try and outplay you and say that, oh, you did something wrong by going into Uncanny Valley and doing all these things. They will try to prove that going into Uncanny Valley is unproductive and should not be done. But AI technology exists, and it proves that we're going to be screwed one way or the other. The world is going to change significantly, and you have to brace yourselves for impact. See you guys next time.